Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to Take Me Out to the Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Jackson, and today we have our unofficial co-host, Alex Funderburke. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Johnny. Thanks for having me on again. How are you?
Thanks for being on. Alex has hosted the last couple HTF main shows, so if you enjoy him here, you'll love him over there as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Go check it out. We've been having a great time over there.
Yeah, so let's start with some smaller news. Some interesting news. Drew Smiley getting $11 million. Brad Hand, $10 million option, one of the best relievers in baseball, denied an opportunity. Alex, we knew this offseason was going to be very weird because of coronavirus. What's the picture looking like?
Yeah, I don't know. That Drew Smiley deal kind of surprised me. I mean, it didn't make much sense to me at all. But, I'm shocked Brad Hand turned down an opportunity. I mean, I think he'll find a spot eventually. But to see Drew Smiley get 11 was shocking.
Yeah, and like they put him on waivers too. Cleveland put him on waivers, and no other team wanted Brad Hand for $10 million.
Yeah, and I think it was the Mets. Sandy Alderson said if they had gotten in there sooner, that they would have gotten him off waivers. But the sale didn't go through in time, and it was so now he's a free agent. We'll see where he ends up.
Yeah, the good thing is that now he probably won't get $10 million for the year.
Yeah, no, it's going to be weird because he is someone who can command upwards of 10 mil, but now I don't think he'll get it.
No, I think we're going to see a lot of one-year deals, like we've been saying, like guys like Kike Hernandez, like Jock Peterson, platoon guys, even Justin Turner. I don't think he's going to get that much money.
It's going to be a bunch of just 1 year deal. They're going to, because the market should be back to semi-normal after next season. So it's going to be a lot of 1 year deals. Guys are just going to just sit through this season out, just prove that they can get a long-term deal maybe next year and get their money after that.
All right. Do we think Yasiel Puig gets a contract by March?
I hope so. I want to see Puig back in the league. Like, he's one of my favorite players to watch. Not even because he's great, just because he has fun. Like, he's not afraid to have fun on the baseball field. He's a firecracker, and he's good. Like, he's not an all-star, but he's a good, solid Major League Baseball player. So I hope he goes somewhere. I really wanted to see him on the Braves last year, but that fell through. I think that would have added an extra element of fun to what that Braves team was. But we'll have to see.
Man, Alex Anthopoulos just loves running Nick Markakis out there. Braves fifth hole hitter for till the end of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's going to be like 60 years old and still on the Braves.
Oh yeah. So also one of the biggest news last week, Theo Epstein stepping down as the Cubs GM. I didn't see this happening. The core is almost over with Bryant, Baez, Rizzo. That team was supposed to be a dynasty. And they weren't. Chris Bryant has had a couple good years, a couple bad years. His 2020 was absolutely abysmal, as was Baez's. I mean, Theo Epstein, he said as of right now, he's not going to work at a ballpark next year. How true do you think that is?
I don't believe him at all. I think he's going to the Mets. It just feels like a Mets move. Like Steve Cohen is going to snag him up. And who knows? He might be right. He might not do anything this year, but I think if you don't do anything next year, he'll be in the Mets organization next year. The writing's on the wall. Like, it just seems too perfect for him to step down right as Steve Cohen's taking over, and things seem to be going in the Mets' favor for him not to go there.
Steve Cohen's got a lot of money, so if it's money that these people are worried about, he's pretty on there. He said he wants to run his team like the Dodgers, which is I think we can both say it's one of the best run organizations in baseball, just from their scouting. Like we said, they're the Rays with money, and the Rays are one of the best scouting and developing teams in all of sports, period, not just baseball.
Yeah, no. If Steve Cohen can turn them into the New York Dodgers, if you will, I still think they're going to find a way to Mets it up in the end. But I think that they could be interesting, but there's something about me doesn't trust the Mets. I have to see the Mets win before I can be like, yo, this is a good thing.
Yeah. Speaking of not good things in the Mets, Robinson Cano fails a PED test. He's out for the entirety of the 2021 season. In my opinion, he was already borderline Hall of Famer after the first PED test. Now he's got no chance. I mean, what do you think?
It's so sad, man. Like, he was easily one of my favorite Yankees, like when I was growing up. To see what it's come to now, like when he signed in Seattle, I hated the Yankees for not bringing him back. But like looking back on it, 7 years later, 8 years later, it was the smartest decision ever because he wanted 10 years, and the Yankees were like, "Look, we'll give you 7." And he walked to Seattle. Then first PED test. Okay, that might just be a fluke. Like one mistake, he'll be fine. And then have another one. I mean, come on, dog. Like it's not like you can. You have a Hall of Fame career on paper if you take away those PED tests. What are you doing? Like you have nothing left to prove. You have a World Series ring. You have All-Star games. Like you have a couple of them, and pretty sure you have a Silver Slugger in there too. Like
A couple
what are
Gold
you
Gloves
doing?
too. Like,
Yeah, he has a Hall of Fame resume. Like you don't need to do anything else. And the drug he tested for was something like sick kids take. So like it doesn't make sense.
no, it makes absolutely no sense. And like the first time I think it was just like a masking agent, but it's also like a chemical that's in a lot of stuff. And it wasn't like too concentrated. So you can make the argument like, oh, like something got in. It's like the supplements or whatever that these athletes are taking. But second test, it's a lot worse. I also forget the name of the substance off the top of my head, but it's significantly worse. And, yeah. Like guys like not Babe Ruth, guys like Barry Bonds, who was better than Babe Ruth, and Roger Clemens. I put them in the Hall of Fame, no doubt.
For
They're the
sure.
best players of their generation. It's like even if Barry Bonds didn't take steroids, it's like he's still a very good ball player in Pittsburgh, won a couple MVPs. But like like Robinson Cano, he's a guy who's relatively on the fringe, kind of like Chase Utley is, who I also think is a Hall of Famer, by the way. Yeah, but Cano,
I don't know about that one.
we'll talk off screen. We'll talk off screen. The resume is there. He's a great defender, great hitter, but this isn't the Chase Utley episode. Robinson Cano, yeah, a guy who's relatively on the fringe just in terms of like total career and like peak longevity, but this is it. I mean, that's the end of his legacy, like you said.
It's really sad. Like I saw it yesterday and immediately texted my Mets fan roommate. Like I told you, the Mets are gonna Mets. They're gonna find a way to mess something up. And I know a couple Mets fans who think that this is maybe a good thing because it frees up $24 million, but they also fail to forget they owe him $24 million 2 years after next year too. So like, cool, you have $24 million to spend this year, but you can only really sign 1-year contracts because that $24 million is back on the books the year after.
Man, he's gonna end up being their Pujols. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Albert Pujols is done after next season, which, love the dude, great career, but it is time for him to be done.
Oh, yeah, no, he should have retired probably like last season.
Yeah, but if the team's going to pay you 20-some million dollars.
Oh, yeah, no, like I would gladly just sit and suck at baseball to collect $20 million.
That's like a baseball for free. So like it's just
exactly.
Plus.
Yeah, just give me the 24 million on top of it. I'll take it.
Yeah, Albert Pujols, I've seen some people arguing like, oh, he should retire to keep the 300 batting average, whatever. Like, dude, if he gets like 650 home runs or something, that's way more important than the 300 batting average because no one cares about batting average.
Yeah, no, batting average is irrelevant now. I mean, just hit your home runs. But I saw the other day on Twitter people arguing if Albert Pujols was a Hall of Famer. I'm like, you are idiots. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer.
The only person who I've flip flopped on is like Yadier Molina, who's just.
Yeah, he's. I mean, growing up, like I thought he was a lock. Now I still think he gets in, but it's less of a lock than it was.
Yeah, I think he gets in. I think he deserves it. Like swinging a wet noodle at the dish, but also one of the best defenders, at least for catchers of ever.
Yeah.
one of the few guys who can catch like 130 games in a season, even at like age 40 or like 30, whatever he is now, 30 old.
Do you think he's going to leave the Cardinals?
I think he's just going to go whoever gives him the most money. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a deal for him because he's played for the Cardinals his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
If he really wanted to be a Cardinal above everything else, he would have. I feel like we would have known by now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the other day that the Yankees and the Mets are both interested, and like the Yankees being interested kind of scares me because it feels like Ichiro 2.0 kind of like you're signing this guy way past his prime. Like there's not really like sure he could mentor Gary and mentor Higashioka, but a 2-year deal for 40 plus Yadier Molina kind of scares me.
Yeah, I mean, Gary needs something. Gary Sanchez has been pretty bad the last couple of years. I mean, I've been a pretty big Gary stan. You know, he's mashes the baseball, but the defense just has not developed.
He frustrates me because like defense wasn't good this year, but it got better. But it was at the cost of his bat. Like he was terrible at the plate this year. So it's like, what do you do with him? Like I'm almost at the point where I'm like, yo, just start Higashioka because he's shown he can be obviously not Gary level production when he's hot, but he can be a consistent bat in your lineup in that 8-9 hole, and he plays good defense. I'll take that over someone who can't play defense and hits below 200 any day of the week.
That's the thing about Gary Sanchez because the defense we know the defense isn't going to be great, but the arm's good and the bat is hopefully good because if he's mashing, he becomes like a Mike Piazza, you know, catcher who's not phenomenal in the field but hits the crap out of the ball and makes up for it. He slots into that 3-4 hole in your lineup, but when he's not hitting, like it's not like you have the defense to be like, oh, you know, he's really good with the pitching staff or whatever. You know,
and that's what we saw play out in the playoffs when Higashioka started all but one game in the ALDS.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gary's bat was not there. Higgy caught fire towards the end of the season, and Boone rode the hot hand. I know some Yankee fans were mad about it, but like I think that was the right move. I think the Yankees made a lot of questionable moves in that ALDS, but I don't think that was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Sanchez won't start game 1 of the 2021 series just because Garrett Cole's in the mound. Probably be Higgy. Does Gary Sanchez start game 2?
Is Gary Sanchez a Yankee? I think is the better question. I mean,
What
they've
team
been
wants
talking
him?
about that. That's the other thing is like what team wants him and who is what do you think he's going to get back? Because I think Cashman knows they're not going to get a lot back for him.
He like bleeds like Mariners or like Orioles reclamation project.
Yeah, no, and so Michael Kay was talking about it the other day on his show. He said, if you're the Yankees, you should try to trade him because if you just let him walk in free agency, one, you don't get anything back, and two, you can't control where he goes because you would rather trade him to like let's say Seattle, like San Francisco, where if he does go up and like be a star again, cool, he's out west, no one cares. But if he signs with like Tampa and becomes a big star, that would suck. So if you can like trade him, even if it's just for like cash and a player to be named later, trade him. You have Austin Wells coming up. You have Higashioka. Like there's other guys behind him to where they don't have to be Gary Sanchez at the plate. They don't have to mash, but just be a consistent bat. Like give me just consistency at the plate.
Yeah, if the Mariners can teach Austin Nola how to catch and be pretty good at it, I think they can work with Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, no, I would love for Gary to go somewhere and be good, but I don't think he's gonna be good in pinstripes.
No, I mean it's just unfortunate. You know, he could also go to like the Phillies or something, be just mash. Because
that would be a cool fit. I mean, if JT walks, that'd be pretty cool.
All right, we got JT Realmuto, George Springer, Trevor Bauer. Right. Mm-hmm. Mets have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those 3 do you think they sign?
Zero. Everyone's been hyping up the Mets, and I think if they get anyone, I think it's going to be Bauer. But I don't see them getting anybody. I think they have been so overhyped now that Cohen's there. And you could argue it's rightful hype, yes, because Cohen is the richest owner in baseball by far. but just there's just something about it. Like they're
Insider
gonna find a
trading
way.
makes a lot of money.
Yeah, no, they're gonna find a way to mess this up. Something's gonna go wrong. They're gonna like botch a pitch. They're gonna do what Nike did to Steph Curry when
Oh,
Nike was pitching
jeez.
Steph Curry. They pitched it to Kevin Durant by accident. Like the Mets are gonna do something to mess this up. They're just that team that it's just they're gonna do something dumb. Like they're gonna not get Springer or Bauer or JT, and they're gonna throw a bag at like they're gonna give Yadier Molina like a 5-year contract or something crazy.
If I saw Steph Curry out on the street, I might think his name was Kevin. Kind of looks like a Kevin.
I mean, yeah, he could be a Kevin, but that story is my favorite story ever because like how do you do that? Like I don't know.
I have no idea. That's like, oh my God. Dude, like Jersey Mike. Remember when Jersey Mike's had like the Mike Trout like as the face of their like sub?
Yes.
Like, why don't they still do that? Why do I have an Aaron Judge Jersey Mike sign 2 minutes from my house? He's literally Mike from New Jersey. How is that not?
It works. I mean, it was like when the Giants and Jets football stadium was up for like naming rights. Everyone was like JetBlue. Like it works. The Jets play there. The Giants play there. They're blue. JetBlue sponsor the stadium, and it ended up being MetLife. Like these companies are fumbling the marketing bag. It works too perfectly. Let me and Johnny run your marketing department. I know this is a baseball. I know this is a baseball podcast, but let us run your marketing department.
We can do memes. We can do their socials. We got this.
We got it.
No, I think 90% of the memes that you see at HTF are made by us. Let's be perfectly honest. Yeah.
Probably.
Alex's room, one of the greatest designs of our time.
Yeah, I mean, I got sad one night. I forget what sports team made me sad, but one of my sports, probably the Knicks. It was probably the Knicks. But no, it made me sad. So I was like, you know what? Let's edit Marvin's room and make it Alex's room.
Speaking of things making me sad, just like LaMelo Ball, just playing basketball.
Fam, I'm so happy that LaMelo Ball is in Charlotte because now LeVar gets to face Michael Jordan.
Oh God.
I want LeVar Ball mic'd up every home game next to Michael Jordan. I need that every home game. Charlotte Hornets, I know you're watching this. You're a big Take Me Out to the Podcast fan. Michael Jordan, mic LeVar Ball up and put him next to you at every home game. I will buy NBA League Pass if that happens.
I feel like if LeVar Ball sits in the same room with Michael Jordan, even like 3 times, his head will just go through the bleachers.
Oh yeah, no, Michael Jordan will definitely kill him. I want to see it happen. LeVar Ball talks so much smack about Michael Jordan and how his sons are going to be better and how LeVar can beat Michael Jordan one-on-one. Make it happen.
Dude, oh man. I mean, didn't the Knicks like pick somebody just to trade him like 3 seconds later?
Yeah.
The guy like
started okay, so the Knicks were smart. I don't say that often, but the Knicks were smart yesterday. They made the smart pick at 8 with Obi, and then they had, coming into the draft, they had 29 and 38, and they turned that into 25 and 33. So yeah. I'll take it. And the guy they got at 25, a shooting guard out of Kentucky, they need a 3-point shooter. He can shoot the lights out. So the Knicks were smart last night. It doesn't happen often. I'm taking this as a big win. We're winning the championship. It's over for the rest of the league. Frank Ntilikina is gonna lead us to the promised land, and we're winning the championship in like 2040. But we're gonna ignore that.
Klay Thompson, man,
I'm hoping it's not as bad as it seems. We're recording this in the morning, so we haven't seen the MRI test yet. But I'm hoping it's not too bad, but it doesn't look good. But that if Klay Thompson's healthy, that team can be a lot of fun. Steph, Klay, Wiggins, Draymond, and now Wiseman. Wiseman's gonna be a stud at the 5, so it'll be fun.
People are definitely sleeping on the Warriors. Like, you're still a very good team.
They forget that healthy Steph Curry is probably the best point guard in the NBA. Like, healthy Steph Curry is the greatest shooter we have ever seen.
The man could shoot like 50% from my house. Like,
yeah, no, and the hoop could be in California.
yeah,
Like he's incredible. I mean, that Warriors dynasty, everyone hated, but I loved it because they were good. They weren't jerks about being good, and
hmm
they had so much fun. Like that team was so much fun to watch. Who doesn't love watching dudes pull up from half court like on a fast break just for fun? Like, come on now, that's amazing.
yeah. Then LeBron season. Every once in a while, like LeBron's just like, you know what? I'm up like I've scored like 15, got like six or seven boards. You know, I'm just gonna shoot one from half court just cause.
Yeah, just for fun. Like, why not? Makes it entertaining.
Oh man. All right. So geez. Who's the next big free agent to sign? I'm going Tommy Malone. Stud.
That threw me for a loop. Where's Tommy Malone signing?
Oh man, he's signing to the. Oh god, I'm so bad. KBO. He signed to the KBO.
Okay, I'll
One
give
year,
you that.
$67 million.
Wow. Okay, I like it. I don't know. I think the first like big name I think we'll see is DJ. I'm slowly getting worried the more and more he doesn't get signed by the Yankees, but I think he'll still end up back in pinstripes.
Yeah, the Mets are in need of a second baseman because they absolutely refuse to just let Jeff McNeil stay in one position.
Yeah, no, if the Mets can be nice and like just say, "Yo, Jeff McNeil's our second baseman," like
He's
today, so
nasty.
I can,
It's not like
so I
he's
can stop,
bad.
so I can stop worrying about DJ potentially going to the Mets. Just keep going. Come out, say, "Yo, Jeff McNeil, you're our second baseman." Make it known so I can stop stressing out because I'm kind of getting scared. But yeah, no, Jeff McNeil's a great second baseman. Like I don't know why you don't just slide him over. He probably should have been there last year.
Yeah.
Um,
They tried
but
him at third base for like 10 games, and that was a
yep,
disaster.
yeah, just put him at second. He's good. Like, but
All-star.
with DJ, yeah, no, he's amazing. But with DJ, Yankees, please sign him like right now. Like, I hope by the time this goes up, he's already signed. I don't think he will be, but
I
I
hope he's
think he's
signed
good.
too. He's going to look great in Boston.
Hey, no, 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 or not, no, just no.
Boss leading off for the Boston Red Sox, DJ Lemahieu, 3-year.
I I think I would no, just no. I need him. I need him back on the Yankees. Um, but if the Yankees don't re-sign him, I would assume they're just gonna do everything to try to trade for Lindor. But
Yeah.
I need DJ. I think he'll be the next big name to sign.
Honestly, we're talking about signings. I mean, the Mets might be the first team to trade for Lindor. I mean,
Yeah, no, that could be interesting because do they trade Pete?
I don't think they do. He was so mediocre last year. His trade
Because
value is down.
his trade value is down, but I don't think he's. I think what we saw last year. I think that's Pete Alonso. Like I
I
don't
think
think Pete Alonso is that good.
I think Nimmo goes.
Okay, Nemo and who Jimenez and prospect or
Yeah,
what are you thinking?
probably because the Cleveland doesn't need a first baseman. I
Yeah,
mean, Santana's a free agent, but they don't need a first baseman. They got guys in their minor league system who mash baseballs. They really need a outfield because I think they paid like 12 or something outfielders last year in 60
they had a
games.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah, none of them were good.
yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see what the Mets do because they also like to bring up Nolan Arenado, but that would take a haul too. So, and Steve Cohen did say he doesn't want to drain the farm system.
Mm-hmm.
So if he doesn't want to drain the farm system, it's going to be hard to trade for guys like Lindor or Arenado because I think it's going to take a lot of prospects. Um, but the Mets have guys they can move. Like if they want to keep Jimenez, you have their number 2 prospect is a shortstop, and then they have a really good catcher who's their number 1 prospect. So you can move those 2 guys. I'm sure you can get Lindor for those 2 guys and maybe like Dom Smith or something. But Yeah, no, the Mets are in an interesting position, but I still think they're going to find a way to mess it up.
I just want Dodgers Twitter to stop talking about trading for Lindor. I thought it was stupid last offseason. I think it's stupid now.
What would you do with Seager at that point?
I don't know. Put him at third, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It's stupid.
What would you give up for Lindor?
Probably Lux. A package of Lux in May, probably.
Yeah. Hey, that team would be even better, but like it doesn't make much sense logistically to trade for Lindor.
Well, especially when Lux is like such a like blue chip prospect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was bad last year, but
hold on to Lux all you can. I think he'll be good.
I hope so. The Dodgers need another right. That's the thing. It's like yeah, he's like nasty, but he's also like another left-handed hitter who like plays pretty decent defense. The Dodgers have a lot of those.
Yeah, no, the Dodgers have the opposite problem of the Yankees. The Yankees have way too many right-handed hitters. So, yeah, no, it's if Gavin Lux can develop, I think he can be a stud.
EJ to LA, baby. Get a right-handed bat in the lineup.
No. Stop putting this evil on me, Johnny. I'm not.
You don't want to see the Dodgers take the best two players from New York and Boston, put them in the same lineup?
No, you can like take Chris Sale from Boston. I'll give you him.
I'm cautiously optimistic about Chris Sale. Chris Sale's underrated. Chris Sale's very underrated.
You see, I'm worried about Chris Sale because if I'm remembering correctly, the Yankees figured him out this season before he got hurt because he used to dominate the Yankees.
Like a starter too.
Yeah, but it felt like that was coming, and then the Yankees already owned David Price, but then they traded him, so that's irrelevant. But
yeah,
Chris
he's
Sale
an LA Dodger now. He's going to be a long reliever.
I'm dead. But if Chris Sale can come back and beat Chris Sale, that'd be cool. But I don't think he will. There's something about that injury just scares me with him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's so tall and skinny. But we'll have to see. That Red Sox team, even if they get Chris Sale, is not going to be good.
Like, I mean, cool. They have like two working pitchers.
Yeah, you'll get 2 wins every 5 games. Congrats,
dude. I don't feel bad for Red Sox fans. I lied. They have had 4 championships the past like 20 years. Like, get out of here.
I hate the city of Boston, so it's okay. If you live in Boston, I have beef with you.
No, that's my brother, bro. That's my brother. He's a teacher up there. you beef with my brother?
Except your brother. Johnny's brother, if you're watching this, I like you. I've never heard of you before. Didn't know you existed, but I like you. Anyone else in Boston, I don't like you.
Yeah, there goes his wife and 2 kids, man. Jeez.
Nah, y'all are cool too. No,
really, you're really gonna hate on my niece and nephew, bro.
Unless you're related to Johnny Jackson or my cousin, because I have a cousin that lives in Boston. So unless you're related to Johnny Jackson or my cousin and you live in Boston, I hate you.
Is there anybody else in Boston that you know that you can't hate?
Not that I know of. If I know you and you live in Boston, I'm sorry, but you live in Boston, so that's your fault.
All right, I think that's a good place to end it. Alex, thank you so much for coming on.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sorry to the city of Boston, but we'll see you next week.
Don't apologize to Boston. Don't apologize to Boston.
I'll see you, man.
See ya.